Hello, this and my other YouTube videos are extracted from the History of Man series, currently 6 books published in print, ebook, and most importantly, audiobook. I'm a storyteller, and if you like these video stories, you'll love the History of Man series audiobooks. Great for commuting or just sitting back and relaxing. And unlike a novel you've read where you know the ending, you can listen to these books on tape more than once. There's so much to learn. Available on Amazon and audible.com, I narrate the audiobooks. And the best part about that is you can listen to these stories without having to look at my stupid face. And with that said, let's get the show on the road. Hello, this is John Bershoff with another installment of History of Man series. I'm a storyteller, and let's tell some stories. Today's subject, how to wipe out a culture with a sneeze, part 1. Now, Christopher Columbus was, of course, in 1492, was one of the first to discover the New World. Although, of course, it wasn't new to the people that had already been living there for thousands of years. And he did not bring good tidings. Now, why was it necessary for Columbus and other sailors to even go out into the ocean? When I grew up, I was taught because they were sailors and they were exploring the world and trying to find the edges of the globe as if they would sail off. Because some people thought the earth was flat then, but not Columbus and not other sailors. The reason they took sail, it was called the Age of Discovery. They were looking for a sea route to the Far East, to the Spice Islands in the Silk Trade. And why was that necessary? Well, the Ottoman Empire had closed off the original Silk Road and spice trade out of the Far East. If you look at a map, the Silk Road, which has been going on for thousands of years, came from China and the Spice Islands and across the middle part of Asia, and then into Turkey and across the Bosporus into Europe, or Italian ships would sail into Italy. But either way, that spice trade and the Silk Road was closed off by the Ottoman Empire because they didn't want anyone crossing their land. So guys like Columbus had to find other ways. Columbus was a good sailor. He was not very good at cartography. He estimated the size of the earth half of what it really was. Interestingly, had he sailed 2.8 million years earlier, the isthmus right here, where Panama is, was actually open. The Pacific and the Atlantic were connected. But due to plate tectonics, that closed off 2.8 million years ago. Had it been open, he would have sailed right into the Pacific and, of course, kept on sailing. But I digress. One of the interesting things, though, about that closure is that it changed the weather patterns in the Atlantic. It pulled moisture from Africa, which now started causing hurricanes, which people that live in southeast United States know very well about. But it also dried up and caused a drought in Africa, which caused our peoples, Homo sapiens, to leave Africa and go into Europe looking for food and water. But again, I digress. So the Age of Discovery was to find a route to the Far East, but they landed in the Caribbean. Columbus actually never stepped foot on American soil. They landed in the Antillean Islands that go by such names as Bahamas today, or Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic. And he didn't bring good tidings, as I said, nor did the other sailors. Columbus and pals brought something. When they disembarked in each of these islands, within them were infections. Infections that the indigenous peoples of these islands had no immunity to. From the year 1498 to 1518, that's just, 20 years, 85% of the Taino people of the Arawak population were dead 3 million people were dead in 20 years, and they weren't dead from the pointy end of a bayonet or from a musket ball, but from infection. Infections like the flu and cholera and smallpox and measles just wiped through these people. Now, in the next installment, we'll talk more about how the Age of Discovery sailors brought infections with them into the New World. Of course, it was, as I said, new to them. It certainly wasn't new to the people that were living there. Now, if you like these kind of stories, my books, this is the first history of man. I got 6 out now, and there's more to come. They use medicine and science to jump off into stories of history and science and geography and geology and art and music and sports. It's a style of writing that I promise you. And they're in book, Kindle, and audiobook, which I actually narrate. And every turn of the page, I hope and I suspect you'll learn something new. Thank you for listening to this installment. Look for the next installment in the Age of Discovery history about how to wipe out a culture with just a sneeze. Thank you. Have a good day and be well.